girl Esther Joy coming at you live, and today I wanted to talk to you about what I have learned from the work that I do, from being self-employed. And yeah, I don't know, like I just wanted to talk about it, so we're gonna try to keep this clear, short, and sweet. Okay, just giving you the real tea on the mistakes I've gone around through the way and all of the things I've learned, okay? Alright, so if I were to say, if you can't stay for the whole thing, this is the main thing that I've learned. You cannot do it alone. Yeah, okay, that's the biggest one I have learned. And I say that because, good Viber, this idea of being a misunderstood artist is something that, like, I don't know. It's something I've seen around, okay? I've seen around. So yeah, alright, I should start off by saying I have been self-employed, technically speaking, for the past 3 years. Yeah, 2019 is when I quit the last job I had, which had a schedule and, you know, all of that fun stuff with the paperwork. So that was great. I am by no means an expert in the corporate world. In fact, I don't think I've actually ever been in the corporate world. I quit a swim instructing / lifeguarding / swim instruction / pool management job, and it was great. They really did try to keep me by giving me that whole promotion, no, I left. My whole reason for quitting was I wanted to create online courses to help people raise their vibration. And try telling that to people, like, that you don't have a backup plan. Of course, a big lesson I've learned is that you should have a cushion. I guess I had a cushion. Mostly mentally, I had a cushion. In my mind, I was like, listen, if I only have a month left to live, and I know that God's going to provide for me, and money is not even in the equation, would I still be doing this? I asked myself that question, and I would ask myself that question pretty much every day for like a good solid, you know, it built up. It built up from every week, occasionally, to every single day, to pretty much every single moment I was working, asking myself, would I still be here if money wasn't in the question? If I only had a month left to live, would I be spending it doing this? And that gave me enough courage to eventually put in my 2 weeks. And I was so excited to just start making my first online course, and I was so convinced that it was going to be a hit because I had already spent over $1,000 on online courses to learn about creating online courses, and woo! Yeah. With that being said, I learned a lot. And I'm thankful that I quit. The first thing I learned is that there's never going to be a good time. Every time I was thinking about quitting, and mind you, I thought about like quitting that job I worked there for 3 years. I thought about quitting probably for a whole year. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna quit. You know, what's good? Pink Fire, good to see you. And you know, I'm gonna just leave. You know, I'm gonna do it. And it took me a whole year to eventually be like, okay, all right, there's never going to be a good time, you know, because one manager left, then another one, then I was covering other people's shifts, and it was like, okay, like, I need to be here, because this company's going to crumble if I leave. That was the kind of feeling I felt, and it kept me there for a good amount of time. Peace and love, Martian. So, not that I hold any resentment towards that job. I learned a lot about working with others, and I'm not like, I'm still learning. Like, I do not look down at any employee wherever they work, be it McDonald's, be it like a warehouse, wherever you're working. I respect and appreciate that and feel like there are skills you can learn to refine you as a human being that you can take with you through whatever you do. So I'm thankful that, you know, I was able to work that job and learn a lot. Jeez. But quitting was hard. I learned a lot about, like, you can't put somebody else's business over your own if you want to create a business for yourself, or if you have a vision that includes lot of your time, money, and effort, because it was at that point where, you know, when people try to like get covers and they're like, hey, yo, can you do this? And I don't work on Sundays. It is not something that I've really ever done. And I let them know straight up, like, I can't work on Sundays. That's like kind of a religious thing for me. And when they kept on asking me if I could work Sundays, I was like, this is like, no, you know, like how it is. And so, yeah, you got to know what your boundaries are, you gotta know what your limits are, you gotta know when to leave. So I learned a lot about that, okay? I learned a lot about saying no and honestly realizing there's never gonna be a good time if you want to start your own business or do your own thing or create something that isn't in the job realm of the typical way that we see things. The second thing I learned now when I quit my job is that you should have a cushion. Oh gosh, if you don't, and if you just leave, I was in college and I had to pay for tuition, my car insurance, my health insurance, my phone bill, all of those stuff, and it was like, okay, thank God I live with my parents, but they don't pay those bills for me. That's on me, and I respect that. And if I didn't have a cushion to pay for that tuition and, you know, like savings so that I was okay, I mean, that would pretty much defeat the whole purpose of quitting that first job. Having a cushion so that mentally I felt like, okay, I can kind of focus on school and I can focus on creating my first online course. And that was a big lesson. Mentally, it's more of just like knowing that if anything happens, I'm okay. I don't have to like be running to the next thing, okay? And also this trust that God is providing for me. Like, God is providing for me as much as He's providing the air that I use to breathe. Yeah, just take a big breath. That really helped. A voice in my head came in and said, you don't have to worry about money ever again. And I realized that if I walk and have faith in that, then that's true. And that is one of the biggest lessons I've learned. To not be desperate to make money. The first online course I created was a flop. Nobody bought it. I gave it for free. Nobody even finished it. And it made me feel like, what am I doing? I thought, you know, I organized the folders right. I structured it in a way that it would actually benefit people. I thought I was providing so much value and that it was going to change the world. And then not even my own mother finished it. Not even my own mother logged in twice. And I thought I was a failure. I thought I made a mistake. I thought, like, this was not how I pictured it being. Not when I told all my coworkers and everybody I knew that I was leaving, and this is what happened. I learned a big lesson with expectations. Don't have them. It's okay to set goals. It's okay to set systems. You need those things for, you know, clear vision, but drop those expectations. I really thought I did something wrong. I thought I was a failure because my first online course, my first service wasn't a success. And at that time, I had invested so much and I just kind of like put all my eggs in a basket. I learned not to put all your eggs in a basket. And that if you are wanting to go this route of being self-employed and working for yourself, then you should have other streams of revenue. And I started picking up part-time work to make sure I could still pay for college, because I realized that I was not going to be a millionaire from this one online course I sold that nobody knew about and nobody finished, and quite frankly, nobody seemed to value. So I learned a lot from that. I learned that it's okay to make mistakes and that you can't put so much pressure on yourself to get it right in the first go. No matter how much you prepare, no matter how much you strategize, no matter how hard you work at it, it needs to fail in order for you to understand what you need to fix. If it works the first time, then when it doesn't later in the road, that's going to be more of a problem because you're going to already have a lot more blocks built up. Whereas testing the foundation in the beginning, it's overall going to create a solid foundation for you as you're creating your own lifestyle and, you know, work. So that was a big one, fam. That was a big one, okay? It's okay to fail. And I got depressed after, to be honest. I felt really discouraged. I was like, well, nobody wants online courses that I make, so I'm just not gonna do it, obviously. And I'm just gonna work on writing. So I began to write. I think I published like 3 ebooks. I will say 2.5 ebooks that year, and I just focused on doing things that I found joy in doing and knew would help people and deliver some form of value. And so that's another lesson I learned about realizing you don't have to go in one direction, and that you should branch out, especially when you're beginning, in many different places to see what you actually enjoy doing and how you want to work. What do you want to work in doing? I began by writing a list of things I knew I was good at and I enjoyed doing and I felt like I could help people with. And it was the simplest things. It was like, movement, mindfulness, right? Like dancing, singing, all of these things. I just wrote them down, and now I'm at a point where people are actually like paying me for those services, which is the most interesting thing. With that being said, I still feel like there's so much more we could expand on, but eventually you gotta like ground. Okay, my brother came and I gave him tweezers, but yeah. So I learned a lot from allowing myself to expand, not trying to put myself in a box really early on with this whole working for myself, self-employed, and figuring out how I could serve the world best, because I feel like that's on my mission, and God's providing and has been providing. And I'm not saying he's giving on a silver platter, but he's like, there's the fruit, you just need to climb the tree and get it. And yeah, so that's been a big one. That has been a big one, my friend. I'm so thankful that there are people out there. It wasn't until I met people that I had faith in myself to actually create another online course. It wasn't until somebody was like, hey, because I started creating and really just exploring what I enjoyed doing and sharing it with the world, that people actually were like, hey, I like what you're sharing. I would love to work with you. I'd like to, collaborate. I'd love to create an online course. And that's actually how the Check Your Chakras course came about. Shout out Danielle. So actually letting yourself explore what you enjoy doing, because what you enjoy doing does provide value for other people. Believe it or not, just that energy of enjoyment is so valuable in itself. Whether it's carpentry, whether it's singing, whether it's exercise, movement, like talking, there are so many ways that we can find pleasure and joy in this world. And the more we tap into that, it's not too good to be true, the more value you will provide, not only in your own life, but also to others that want to be like, ooh, I really like that, their vibe with what they're doing. I want to understand how they got there, and really resonate with that. So literally whatever it is, like, that is the beauty of sharing what you enjoy doing. You need to share what you enjoy doing if you want to be self-employed. Whether it's a portfolio, your portfolio for me, I feel like, is just anything that you share with the public. Literally anything. The words that you say, a book, like a song, literally anything that you create. Sharing it with the world, that is your portfolio. That is you providing free value to people for them to see if they want to work with you, see how they can support you and how you can support them. So yeah, you can't do this alone, and I'm so thankful that I'm not alone, okay, because I probably would have given up on myself a while ago. I get tired, I'd be like, I can't do this, it failed already. But there are people out there, and they really do want to see you succeed because they see themselves in you and they want to succeed as well. And that's a beautiful part of the value that you can provide. So yeah, I've learned a lot by working with people and realizing like you need to work with people no matter what kind of job or what kind of self-employment scenario or service good that you're trying to give. You're giving it to somebody else. You're serving humanity in the world in some way. So you need to be okay with that. You need to get yourself out there. You got to realize that not everybody's here to judge you. Yes, there are people out there that are like, oh, what are you doing? My own family is like, what is she doing? What is she doing? And my own mom's like, wow, like that's so weird that you're not like working anywhere. Crazy, I know. But it's only through what's good, Beaching. What is good? It's only through working with others will you really allow yourself to be like, yeah, I got this. Actually, I can do this. This is what I am here for. So yeah, working with others has helped a lot. In terms of self-employment, the biggest lesson I've learned now that I have been, it's been 3 years since I have not worked a normal job, paycheck to paycheck. I've been doing a lot of freelancing. I've been doing a lot of, like, side gigs in the beginning. Like, I did DoorDash for a while. I actually worked at a beauty supply warehouse just listing things in my free time. That person was really chill. And every single thing that I did actually gave me the skills that I needed to assist me with my own self-employment journey. Like, DoorDashing helped me with time, punctuality, like being situationally aware, as well as really clear and with what I will accept and what I won't accept in terms of, okay, this is like this many miles for this much money. Is that worth it? And actually developing that, like, that starts with wherever you're at. Working at the other beauty supply warehouse listing things, like, that helped me a lot with my typing. I am not the best typer, but that really forced me, and it was great. Like, if my boss at the time would be like, there were a lot of typos, and get upset with me because there were a lot of typos, it actually helped me stay accountable and realize, like, hey, I need to learn how to type. Like, this is obviously, and that helped a lot. So yes, everywhere you work will give you the skills that you need that you can utilize in your own self-employment journey. Okay, I am so thankful to be able to be self-employed. I'm so thankful that I get to forge my own way in my own services and create this vision that I know is bigger than myself, that literally I feel God has blessed me with to create and bring down. I am far from dependent, but I do live with my parents, which is a big one, and I help out as much as I can and give as much as I can, whatever I can, because I'm thankful that I can. A big money mindset that has helped has been actually just saying the words "thank you" paid for all of my bills, instead of freaking out about the health insurance and the car insurance and the phone bills and the subscriptions. Instead of being like, oh no, that's like leaking my wallet, I realized that those are also beings that are doing a service and I am paying for it because I value it. And instead of coming from that place of, oh no, I don't want them to take my money, realizing that that's going to be reflected as I continue to create my services and how I interact with money and others, I say thank you paid. I say thank you paid because A, I'm thankful that I can pay it. That's it. Like, I'm thankful that I can pay it. And that has shifted my mindset a lot. And it actually has been reflecting in my finances, I would say. Beaching, thank you. I definitely do believe that it is treating me well. I believe that you got this, fam, and it has taught me a big lesson in discipline. With a job, you gotta go in, you gotta clock in, okay? We've all been there, you wait for the certain minute, you wait to see how long you can hold off to still be on time for work. Like, we all been there. But when you're self-employed, you don't have that. You don't have nobody saying, okay, clock's going on. You could sit on your couch all day if you wanted to, but guess what? You're probably not gonna get paid because you're not really giving any value or delivering on your promises. And that's a big thing. Discipline. I've learned so much with discipline, fam. And I used to be scared. I was scared that I couldn't do it because I was like, I'm too loosey-goosey, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna wander off and I'm gonna forget that I'm in charge of my own being and I'm gonna have to, like, go and get another job. And at this point, like, well, I do a lot of freelancing work and I'm thankful that I've gotten to the point, but, like, yeah, if I need to add another job, like, I'll add another job because I didn't have the discipline to actually go and create the revenue stream that I wanted to. And sometimes that means go and figure it out and, come back when you can actually invest that time and not be lazy and not scroll on the internet and, not avoid what you have to do because nobody's gonna stop you other than yourself. So that's been a big one with the discipline and time management. Like, quite literally, you have to set your own schedule. the nature of what I do with, working with a whole bunch of different clients with brand strategy and UX and design, but also creating online courses and channeling and creating just programs surrounding that concept of holistically healing the mind, body, and soul. I have to be able to take into account my days. How much can I actually handle? Like, how much can I handle? When I was working a job, like, I'm gonna be honest, I got some great jobs. I was a lifeguard, a swim instructor. Like, I pretty easy jobs. And I remember I'd be like, well, I'm getting paid per hour. And even my job, my boss at the place I used to list was like, you're getting paid per hour. Don't rush it, Take as long as you need. And that mindset is why I'm self-employed, because they are sucking something more valuable than any money is, and that's my time. And that's why ultimately I was like, I need to do this myself. I have to take my time into my own hands. And it has been hard. I do find myself pulling, working until like 11, 12, 1 sometimes, because nobody's going to tell me when to stop unless I stop myself and say, Esther, you got to go to sleep because it's late and you have to wake up because you have a meeting tomorrow morning. Nobody's really going to tell me that. So taking that time into my own hands has been super, super, super important. And it's quite ironic that I'm talking about this since you're starting your first shift at a new job tomorrow, and it's not a lot more aligned with what you love, though you're very at peace with it. That's perfect. And I do believe like every single job that we work assists us and gives us the skills that we need on our mission. Like, again, it just helps build that foundation and the skills that you need, and then you also get paid. You get paid to develop those skills. So jobs are good. Jobs are nice. When you're working for yourself, though, you have to figure out like, what skills do I need to provide this value, and do I have the time to invest in it, and organize yourself, because like you said, I am the employer and employee, and I can't fire myself. Like, if I'm not providing or I'm not delivering on my promise, and I gotta look myself in the mirror, and also the client will look at me and be like, you didn't deliver on your promise. And that right there is probably my biggest fear, which is also my biggest motivator, which is also something I honor, because if I'm not delivering on my promise, then that gives me an opportunity to see how can I deliver on my promise. What did I not do? What in my own habits, what energetically is happening that I may have felt like, and usually it just comes down to discipline. It comes down to, did you take the time to do the things that you know you had to do in the time that was allotted for you to do them? Oh, how do I balance myself with having clients and still honoring your own time for self-love? That's a good one. I find that it helps to make it fun. Like, because everything is kind of like on my own terms, it helps to make things fun. I'm thankful that my partners are amazing souls that are super understandable. And so, we're able to have that straight up, let's get down to business, but we're also able to talk about our, personal lives in an energetic way that isn't invasive or negative in any way, but actually healthy and allows for that human connection to still take place, and for us to also understand where one another is at and where our energies levels are at and what we think that we can do that week. So that's a really big one. And being self-aware does definitely help. And thank you so much for coming through. Just allowing myself to be like, all right, like, right now time is the most valuable thing I have, because with it I can make more streams of revenue versus like when I used to work as a lifeguard. I'll use that example. It was like, all right, I'm getting paid per hour, so I can kind of like do whatever I want, and we quite literally just did whatever we wanted, because as long as we were there and present, it didn't really matter. And I can't really do that. I can't really do that. I can do whatever I want, but I'm not going to get paid per hour. I need to actually be on top of my time. And this has also changed my habits a lot. I used to smoke a lot of weed. And when I started being self-employed, I realized, like, you can't do that. Because, again, I am the employee and the employer. Like, realize that, okay, that's kind of, and you can, but like it kind of affects your productivity. And, I'm not going to do that on working hours. And I need to figure out when working hours are, because I'm kind of always working sometimes these days. So there is that. Yes, I sent the link. I got you. And yeah, I think that it's really important for you to understand how you are, like when you are self-employed. Nobody is going to tell you do this. Yeah, the client will tell you, like, this is what I need. But you have to be like, okay, so that means I have to do this. Can I do that, and how can I do that most effectively? And that has been a big one. For me. I'm still learning. I'm learning a lot about taking account of my money and my time and my energy and my emotional capacity and my mental capacity and my physical capacity. How much can I actually hold, and am I balancing it in a way where it's not draining? Because burnout, I think, is the biggest thing that I have learned from throughout my life, not just with self-employment, but just in general. This concept of burnout, when you put too much on your plate, and then you just can't do it all, and you end up falling. So that is why it's so important to be aware of your energy and be aware of how you're balancing it all. I'ma be honest, fam, I could do a better job at balancing it, if I'm being honest. But in March, we going at it. I'm understanding my cycles and how, when I like to work, when I'm most effective and productive, and when, I need to rest, and also taking time to journal and write things down, because I need to, again, keep account of my energy in all aspects. So thank God for leading the way, and for, reminding me and reminding you that as you continue out on your mission, wherever you're working, however that looks like for you, whatever services you're providing to humanity at this time, they're all valuable and they're all valid, and they are all very much needed at this time. And that as you continue to go through the rest of your life, the rest of your days, and you tap into understanding that your mission is to just serve people in a way that you can do uniquely, you will be provided for divinely. 8, 8, 8, 8 for work, 8 for service, and 8 to others, 8 for leisure and rest. Okay, yes, I think that's really nice. That's a nice way to look at it, James. And I appreciate you all for coming here. But the big lesson is enjoy wherever you are doing, whatever you're working on, or whoever you're working with. Whatever it looks like, you have something that is valuable that you can provide the world, and that it is important to tap into that energy and to balance it. The biggest life lesson I've learned being self-employed for the time I have been self-employed is balance, discipline, and patience. Patience, knowing that nothing happens immediately. You don't hit your goals always when you want to, but that just encourages you to really evaluate what works and what doesn't work, so that you can optimize and refine. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed, and you provided value, and that you found some food for thought if you are looking to dive into more of the self-employed route, or just understand and explore maybe another stream of income, and revenue. You don't have to quit your job to create a new stream of revenue if you are disciplined with your time and are open to managing it in a way that opens that opportunity for you. But yeah, let me know, because I have been holding focus groups called Branding Branch, or Branding Buds, and we talk about branding, how to self-brand or to brand your business, and all of the strategies that go along with branding, so that you can have a successful brand. And it's been really, for me, it's been awesome, because I've been learning as I'm teaching and creating this service that I'm really excited to launch in the upcoming weeks. So you will see that, and you will hear more about that. But yeah, for real, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you found this an enjoyable and chill live, and that